Good afternoon. Calling to order the meeting of the Buncombe County Board of Elections for Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, primary election day. Mr. Whitney and company, do we have anyone tuned in online? Okay, we have one virtual participant. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We do stream all our meetings. We are accustomed to having a rather full house at our meetings. Kathy, it's good to see you here. Thank you for being our audience. It's my guess that folks who are normally out in the audience are out at polling sites and probably trying to help voters or help candidates, that kind of thing. But thank you for coming in to... Good. No, thank you for coming in to keep an eye on things. We definitely appreciate the public's participation. Alrighty, colleagues, we have an agenda before us. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for today's meeting. Thank you, Mr. Schultz. The motion before the board is to approve the agenda. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Thank you. The motion carries 5-0. Next up is office updates. I figure there's probably a couple things happening today. Director Duncan.
Yes. So, of course, it is election day. We opened at 6:30 this morning. All the locations opened on time. We also did our live media event, and Marianne was there at 11:30 this morning from the command post. So we got to update voters on things. There at 10 o'clock, the sites submitted their number of voters, and so all across the county at 10 we had 5,226 voters, and that's posted on the front page of our website. There's a button called 1024, and you can find the numbers of voters there. So you'll see they report at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m., but it takes about 30 minutes to get all of them in, so probably at 2:30 is when we'll see the next one. And that should be a big jump because there's a lot of time between there. And then the next one will be at 4, and then we'll see final preliminary results at 7:30. Again, we had 26,000 voters during early voting. We had a little bit over 1,400 absentee by mails that you all certified so far last night. And we are getting absentee ballots coming in the door today as well. It is too late to drop those in the mail. Deadline is today at 7:30 for the one viewer that's watching. Bring those in today. That's the final deadline. That's changed. Don't drop them in the mail. Bring them by our office at 59 Woodfin Place. And are there any questions on the board about what has been going on?
Just one quick question about the numbers so far. Compared to other times, is that pretty much what we'd expect?
I would need to look and see what the 10 o'clock numbers were for the 2022 election. But if we're expecting between 25 and 30, that was in the morning. Yep, so
okay, that's fine.
In a few minutes, I think we'll see whether we're on track for that 30,000 or not. Any other questions? We did have one site that the power went out because the voting equipment overloaded the circuit at the site. But
Fairview?
It was at Fairview.
Thank
yep.
you. I get messages.
Yes. So, but we took care of that, and that site's up and running again. That only took about 20 minutes maybe to work out, and they used the emergency kit, so voting kept going.
That wasn't the fire department down there.
It was a church, a private location.
No worries.
Any other questions about operations so far? It is going very well.
Abiding Savior was the church.
Correct.
I'm sorry, what's the pit?
The pit?
Fire department, yeah, what were you talking about, the emergency?
Oh, the kit.
Kit.
I thought the pit.
No emergency pits. No emergency pits. Yes, the kit. So they would do the ATV manually, but everything else was on battery power, so it ran just fine. Okay, if there aren't any other questions, Mary Ann, you asked for a budgets by program, and Victoria got that all ready for you already.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you can look at the requests by program there. And then another update that I forgot to give you after the meeting with Avril was we have the one position request that we're asking for. And she just wanted to let us know that there were 150 position requests. And that's all she said, which I took to mean it will be a very competitive environment to get a position. But I think we made a good request, so. And you'll see that kind of darker gray column at the bottom. That's the final operating ask after we added back in that 56,000 for the school countywide mailing.
Do we have time to ask a couple of questions on this?
Sure.
Or do you wanna
Yes,
do that another-
absolutely, and I will do my best to answer.
I'm
And
sure you can.
Victoria is here if we
Okay.
need more details.
So, looking at some things like rent and lease, so it looks like we requested a lot more in '24 than '25. What happened on that?
So in what we're doing, this was part of the contingency that I presented. So
Right.
we don't always know whether we need to rent a site or not. So
Got it.
we're
This is
going.
for voting sites.
Yep, for voting sites. So if we need to rent, then we will, and we can't absorb it in our budget, then we'll ask for that money.
Same thing with maintenance and repair, I presume.
Correct, yep.
You just reduced those broadly so that we could increase some other places? Why did they get so reduced?
We reduce them because we underspend every time, and so we're asking for more than we need.
Great.
The maintenance and repair is a great example. If you look at the FY23 actuals is what we actually spent. There's a bunch of zeros in that column. Where we requested 34,000, but we only spent 27. Mary Ann, you were going to ask a question.
Yeah, you have categories listed. Your spend category, I'm assuming, is the first column.
Correct.
Okay, what are the big headings? What are you considering those?
Let's see.
Like uniforms, travel and training, is that the fund?
So I don't remember the name. So they are county, budget codes.
Yeah.
But
What
I
I was
don't
trying to
remember.
get is if we could get this sorted so that all of the early voting expenses were in one area, all of the election day were in
I
one area.
understand. Yes, I actually didn't look, and that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And that's why you're asking, because that's not a program. Yep. I'm sorry.
not a
So,
problem.
This is good too.
yes, this is good. We can definitely get the actual by program, though. I can probably even get it today. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. It's just, getting straight on which is the spend category, which is the program, which is the fund. Yeah.
And just one kind of question, thinking about the new machines that we had for early election voting. How much do each of those cost?
Each of the express vote machines, I don't remember.
You have
I
any
have the
ballpark?
proposal, though.
Yeah. And whether there'll come a day when we're using those across the board, I'm just thinking about how much money that is.
It's looking like in 2024, it would have been probably somewhere around the 39,000 number.
Are you under, where are you, which category?
Under IT, and then you go down to the second one, which is early voting, and over to 2024.
Yeah, yeah.
Are-
39,000.
Are you looking for how much we purchased the express vote equipment for?
Yes.
That was a capital
Oh, okay,
expense,
so it wouldn't
so
show
it's
the-
not showing here,
Okay.
yes. And it was much bigger.
Yeah, I thought that looked a little.
Yes, that's,
For just the
yeah, we
ele-
would
or
be
just
able
for
to
the
handle
early election
election,
sites?
purchasing for
Yeah.
election day if it was that cost.
Or the
I'm
express.
sorry, it's taking me a little bit.
Right, so I'm
Capital
thinking,
cost.
Oh,
so
thank
we
you.
had 11, and they're probably, what, 4 or so in each?
So for one machine, it's 3,660, and then there's some additional things for the software and
And we
license.
bought printers too.
Right. you
And
have
the
to have
printers, yes. And
Is-
that's separate. We didn't buy as many printers as machines, because we
Okay,
just
did
need
that
those
bring
for the
that- That was
station.
like a 900,000 or a million for the whole buy.
It
I dream that? Was that-
was,
But I can't remember how many machines you got for that. And I know it's divided between printers and consoles
And software.
and software. That's right. I do like the way you broke up the budget though into the voting configurations. I mean, that helps. I think
Yes.
going forward, that's gonna be really helpful.
so
As
it,
this stuff gets tweaked.
yes, yeah, and the longer that we spend time working in this environment, the more useful it gets, because we can start looking back at comparable elections. So it was almost $600,000 for all of the 140 express votes
140.
plus the printers
And the software.
and the software, yep,
How much
and
was
the
that again?
upgrade.
600,000.
600,000.
So I lied. It wasn't 9, it was 6. Okay.
You just turned your
I'd look
your
at
little
it.
thing around.
Someone would have talked about
And then we spent, if my memory serves, 200,000 on the 950s.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's where
I
I
would
got
have
to
to-
$1 million, because
yeah.
we were replacing
have
with
to
high-speed printers.
look that
So
up.
that was the whole
Whole package,
capital
yeah.
package. Gotcha. So I didn't lie.
No, together.
Not this
Well,
time.
well noted.
Not this time.
Okay. I've got that down. One time. You actually didn't lie, and you had your information right.
Okay, so we will be able to get you the voting programs this afternoon.
Really?
Sorry for that misunderstanding.
No problem.
I was excited.
New concept.
We got it done, but we didn't.
So it's just resort by program rather than.
Yes, yep. And those are all of the updates, if there aren't any additional questions.
All right, thank you, Director Duncan.
Yeah, it's great.
Next on the agenda is board challenges. Director Duncan?
And Devin will be presenting those.
All right, so normal list maintenance procedures while we are underway during voting. That includes running the death list. There are 2 voters that voted absentee by mail that have since passed since today. And this is the
That's him.
the evidence, the documentation that we would recommend for a challenge. It's just And I don't have a death certificate for one of them because it just came on the list today. But I did include the list that I got from.
Director Duncan, would you mind showing us your shoes?
Lillian told me I couldn't wear them until at the warehouse. So they are in my car right now.
Okay, we'll save it for later.
Maybe we should.
I hope
outvote
she's
on
our
that
one viewer so she can hear my tone.
Maybe
So-
we should vote on that.
So shoes are embargoed until 7:30. Huh.
I think I'm gonna wear them at
This meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bold. It's really bold of you.
With all the people. They were popular at the EOC. I put them on the table.
Now, just how popular were they with all the firemen and policemen and?
I do have a photograph.
Good,
Oh,
we've got evidence.
They're pretty special.
While the rest of the board is looking over those, I'd really like to say I appreciate the fact that this is so up to date, because this is one of the questions that arises so often that I can go back and say, got it really up to date. It
Exactly.
is actually being checked.
And they were both scanned on the meeting, the 13th and the 13th. Those ballots.
Well, I simply want to remind you what great Ian Fleming said. It was once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action. And simply point out that both of the deceased were Republicans.
Oh.
So we'd be looking for the third
Oh.
as
Was that-
evidence.
No, one of them was a
No, one of
Democrat.
them's a
It was a
Democrat.
Democrat right there.
One of them's a Democrat.
I understood differently.
Okay.
Just remember what Mr. Fleming said,
For the record,
for the record.
we have a man, we have a woman, we have a Democrat, we have a Republican. So
Okay.
we have diversity.
We have balance.
So death has no favorites, unfortunately. Or
True, true, true.
fortunately, it is.
All right, has everyone had a chance to review these? I would entertain a motion to disapprove the absentee ballots of these two individuals.
Is it disapproving or challenging?
Well, we're upholding the challenge. I make a motion to uphold the challenge of the absentee ballots of these two deceased voters.
And what will happen is we'll bring these back, so we'll notify, we have to do the,
Right.
notification period, so that on canvass day, if this was incorrect, there would be some opportunity. And then that's when they
It's
would be.
disapproved.
Yep.
So today we uphold the challenge, and then we take next steps on the 15th.
In which I'm sending out a letter tomorrow, if approved, to both of these, the residences of where they were registered to vote.
So the motion before the board is to uphold the challenge of the two absentee ballots submitted by these two deceased voters. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Thank you. The motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Whitney.
Just need you to sign the two forms.
On the back.
And we're good to go. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is preliminary absentee results.
So this happens like normal. This did not change. So Bria and Devin will close the polls on the absentees that we have scanned so far, so through yesterday's board meeting. And then they'll pre-process those so that they are ready at 7:30. We can just click a button and those will get posted at 7:30. So, they'll do that in the electionware room, and you're welcome to observe it through,
Okay.
through the window.
If you could just give us a little more detail on this. Is there an abstract prepared on this?
Yep, so an abstract will be
Okay.
prepared, but that won't be presented till right near
Until
7:30.
7:30,
Yep,
because, yeah,
yep, because they are results.
right. Alrighty, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh. Yeah, Bria's right. So, I'm so sorry, yes, so this part of the meeting, we should reconvene at 6:30, because we don't need all of the time for closing early voting. And then at 6:30, they will process the absentees and create the abstract. And then you
Okay.
will review, the board will review the abstract, and then we'll post at 7:30. Sorry, I'm
So,
sorry.
am I hearing a recommendation that we recess the meeting until 6:30 in this room?
Correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's nothing more you'd like to discuss at the moment, this board shall be in recess until 6:30. We will reconvene here at that time. Thank you. Sorry about